Every morning, life gives you a quiet opportunity. Not a loud announcement, not a grand promise, just a gentle reminder that you are still here. And being here is already a responsibility to grow, to learn, and to live better than yesterday. A better life is not built in one heroic moment. It is built silently, patiently, through daily habits that seem small but shape everything. Begin your day with purpose, not pressure. When you wake up, don't ask, "What do I have to do today?" Ask instead, "Who do I want to become today?" Purpose gives direction, while pressure steals joy. Even 5 minutes of silence, reflection, or prayer can realign your heart before the world tries to pull you apart. A purposeful morning trains your mind to respond, not react. Gratitude is not denial of pain, it is recognition of strength. Make it a habit to name 3 things you are grateful for every single day. This is not positivity for decoration. This is mental training. When you practice gratitude daily, your brain learns to search for hope instead of fear. Over time, this habit reshapes how you see life, people, and even yourself. Discipline is often misunderstood as punishment. In reality, discipline is self-respect in action. It is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Daily habits like sleeping on time, eating mindfully, reading instead of scrolling, and moving your body are not strict rules. They are quiet promises you keep to yourself. And every promise you keep builds confidence. Every promise you break teaches doubt. Your inner dialogue is the most influential voice you will ever hear. If you speak to yourself with cruelty, no amount of external motivation will save you. Make it a daily habit to correct your thoughts. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." Replace "I'm broken" with "I'm healing." Education begins in the mind, and the way you talk to yourself determines how far you are willing to go. Consistency is the most underrated success skill. You do not need to change your life in one day. You need to show up every day. 10 minutes of learning daily is more powerful than 10 hours once a month. Small habits, repeated consistently, rewire your brain, strengthen your character, and transform your future. Consistency teaches patience, and patience teaches mastery. Pain will visit everyone, that is not a choice. But what you do with pain is a decision you make daily. You can let it define you, or you can let it educate you. Build the habit of reflection instead of resentment. Ask, what is this moment trying to teach me? Pain that is understood becomes wisdom. Pain that is ignored becomes bitterness. A better life is not louder, faster, or easier. It is calmer, wiser, and more intentional. Your daily habits are your silent teachers. They are shaping your tomorrow while you live today. Choose them carefully, practice them consistently, and trust that even on days when progress feels invisible, growth is still happening. Because healing is a habit. Growth is a habit. And a better life is not a miracle. It is a daily choice you make again and again. When you open your eyes in the morning, life has not attacked you yet. The world has not demanded explanations, comparisons, or perfection from you. That first moment belongs to you, and what you do with it decides the emotional direction of your entire day. Starting your day with purpose, not pressure, is not about productivity hacks or forcing motivation. It is about education of the mind. It is about teaching your brain how to lead instead of being dragged. Pressure says you are already late, already behind, already failing. Purpose says you are learning, growing, and becoming. Pressure shouts deadlines, expectations, and fear of disappointing others. Purpose whispers values, intentions, and meaning. When you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, you allow pressure to enter before you even stand up. News, messages, social media, and comparisons start training your mind to react. A purposeful morning trains your mind to respond. Take a few minutes to breathe consciously. This is not spiritual decoration, this is neuroscience. Slow breathing calms your nervous system and prepares your brain for clarity. When you choose calm before chaos, you teach your mind that you are safe, capable, and in control. Ask yourself one simple question: what kind of person do I choose to be today? Not what do I want to achieve, but who do I want to embody? Kindness, patience, courage, discipline. Purpose begins with identity, not to-do lists. Pressure makes you rush. Purpose makes you focus. Even if your life is busy, even if your responsibilities are heavy, a purposeful start gives emotional stability. 5 minutes of intention can save hours of frustration. When your day has meaning, even routine tasks feel lighter. Education is not only books and degrees, it is how you train your thinking patterns daily. Many people wake up already tired because their mind never rested. They slept physically, but remained mentally alert all night. Purposeful mornings gently reset the mind. You remind yourself that you are more than your problems, that your worth is not measured by speed or comparison. This habit builds emotional intelligence. It teaches you to separate urgency from importance. Pressure tells you to fix your whole life today. Purpose tells you to take one honest step. Pressure creates guilt when you fail. Purpose creates learning when you fall. When you start your day with intention, you allow space for mistakes without self-hatred. You stop fighting yourself and start guiding yourself. Think of purpose as a compass. It does not remove obstacles, but it shows direction. On hard days, purpose becomes your anchor. On successful days, it becomes your humility. This habit protects your mental health because it reduces unnecessary stress. You stop living in survival mode and start living in alignment. As Muniba Mazari often reminds through her journey, strength is not loud in the morning. Strength is quiet, intentional, and rooted in meaning. When you wake up with purpose, you are not denying your struggles, you are choosing not to be ruled by them. Over time, this daily habit reshapes your confidence. You no longer wait for motivation from outside. You create direction from within. Gratitude is not pretending that everything is fine when it is not. Gratitude is choosing awareness over blindness. When you make gratitude a daily habit, you are educating your mind to see strength instead of shortage, opportunity instead of obsession. Complaints are automatic. Gratitude is intentional. And whatever is intentional slowly becomes powerful. Every morning you wake up, your mind immediately scans for what is missing, what is wrong, what hurts. That is survival mode. Gratitude gently pulls you out of survival and places you into understanding. You don't practice gratitude because life is perfect. You practice gratitude because life is still teaching you. When you wake up and list what you still have, you stop letting pain erase perspective. Breath, time, learning, another chance to try again. These are not small things, these are foundations. Gratitude does not cancel struggle, but it gives struggle meaning. It reminds you that even in chaos, something is still working in your favor. Many people believe gratitude is weakness, that it makes you passive. In reality, gratitude builds resilience. When your mind learns to acknowledge what is good, it becomes emotionally stronger to face what is hard. Complaining drains energy. Gratitude redirects energy. It changes the chemistry of your brain. Science confirms what wisdom has always known. Grateful minds are calmer, clearer, and more focused. This is not poetry, this is education of the nervous system. Make gratitude practical. Do not wait for big miracles. Start with ordinary victories. You got out of bed, you showed up, you survived something you once thought would destroy you. Gratitude grows when you stop waiting for perfection. The habit of gratitude trains your mind to pause before reacting. Instead of asking, why me, you begin to ask, what now? That shift alone can change the quality of your decisions. Gratitude also humbles the ego. It reminds you that you are supported in ways you did not create alone. People, opportunities, lessons, even delays. When you recognize this, you stop competing with others and start collaborating with life. Comparison fades because appreciation fills the space. A grateful heart does not waste energy proving worth. It knows worth. This habit is especially important on difficult days. Gratitude on good days is easy. Gratitude on hard days is revolutionary. When you can still find one thing to appreciate while hurting, you reclaim your power. Pain stops being the boss. It becomes a chapter, not the whole story. Gratitude keeps you emotionally flexible instead of rigid. As Muniba Mazari has shown through her life, gratitude does not come after healing, it often comes before it. Gratitude teaches patience, it teaches acceptance without surrender. You are not giving up, you are grounding yourself. And when you are grounded, you grow stronger roots. Make gratitude a daily discipline, not an occasional emotion. Write it, say it, feel it, even when your voice shakes, especially when your voice shakes. Over time, gratitude rewires how you see yourself and the world. You stop asking life to be easy and start trusting yourself to be strong. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction, but in reality, discipline is liberation. It is the quiet decision you make every day that says, my future matters more than my excuses. When you practice discipline, you are not punishing yourself, you are protecting yourself. Protecting your time, your energy, your focus, and your dreams. Self-respect is not something you declare loudly. It is something you demonstrate privately through your habits. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you break one, self-trust weakens. Discipline is built in these small moments. Waking up when you said you would, finishing what you started, saying no when something distracts you from your values. These are not dramatic acts, but they are deeply powerful. They teach your mind that you are reliable, that you can be trusted with bigger responsibilities. Many people wait for motivation, but disciplined people move without it. Motivation is emotional, discipline is educational. Motivation comes and goes, discipline stays. When you rely on feelings, your progress becomes unstable. When you rely on discipline, your growth becomes inevitable. This is not about being harsh with yourself. This is about being honest with yourself. You cannot grow a life of respect from habits of avoidance. Discipline also teaches boundaries. It teaches you when to stop, when to rest, and when to push. Contrary to popular belief, disciplined people are not exhausted, they are organized. They know when to work and when to recover. Self-respect means you do not burn yourself to impress others. You choose sustainability over approval. You choose alignment over applause. Think about how you treat things you value. You take care of them. You protect them. You invest time and effort into them. Discipline is treating yourself with that same level of care. Eating well, sleeping enough, learning consistently, and moving your body are not lifestyle trends, they are acts of respect. You are sending a message to your mind that you matter. Discipline becomes especially important on difficult days. Anyone can show up when life is easy. Discipline shows up when excuses are loud, when fear whispers to quit, when comfort tries to negotiate. In those moments, discipline becomes an anchor. It reminds you that feelings are temporary, but consequences last. You may not feel like continuing, but you continue because your values are stronger than your moods. As Muniba Mazari often reflects through her journey, strength is not about force, it is about commitment. Commitment to healing, to growth, to becoming better even when progress is slow. Discipline is choosing dignity over convenience. It is choosing effort over ease. When discipline becomes a habit, your life starts to feel lighter, not heavier. Decisions become clearer. Regret becomes smaller. Pride becomes quieter but deeper. You stop negotiating with procrastination and start moving with intention. Discipline does not demand perfection, it demands consistency. And consistency builds character. Character builds self-respect. And self-respect changes how the world responds to you. The most powerful conversation you will ever have is the one that happens silently inside you. Your inner dialogue is shaping your confidence, your courage, and your capacity long before the world reacts to you. If you speak to yourself with doubt, even opportunities will feel like threats. If you speak to yourself with compassion and clarity, even challenges will feel like lessons. This is an OT motivation, this is mental education. You are training your brain every single day with the words you repeat. Most people are unaware of how harsh they are with themselves. They would never speak to a friend the way they speak to their own heart. One mistake becomes a label. One delay becomes a verdict. One failure becomes an identity. Your inner dialogue turns moments into meanings. When you constantly tell yourself you are not enough, your brain looks for evidence to prove it. When you tell yourself you are learning, your brain looks for solutions. Words are instructions. Your mind listens carefully. Changing your inner dialogue does not mean lying to yourself. It means guiding yourself. Instead of saying, "I always fail," say, "This is difficult, but I am still here." Instead of saying, "I am broken," say, "I am healing." This shift is not weakness, it is wisdom. You are not ignoring reality, you are interpreting it in a way that supports growth. Education is not only about information, it is about interpretation. Your inner voice becomes loudest in moments of pain. That is when it matters most. In those moments, you can either abandon yourself or anchor yourself. Speak to yourself as someone worth saving. Remind yourself that survival itself is evidence of strength. Self-talk is emotional first aid. It does not erase the wound, but it stops the bleeding. The brain learns through repetition. If you repeat fear, fear becomes familiar. If you repeat courage, courage becomes access. Aibo. This is why daily awareness matters. Catch the thought, question it, replace it. This is not toxic positivity, this is mental discipline. You are choosing accuracy over abuse. You are refusing to let old wounds narrate your future. Your inner dialogue also shapes how you allow others to treat you. When you respect yourself internally, you naturally set healthier boundaries externally. You stop begging for validation because you are no longer starving inside. Confidence is not loud, it is settled. It comes from alignment between what you say to yourself and how you live your life. As Muniba Mazari has shown through her resilience, the body may carry scars, but the mind decides the story. When your inner dialogue is empowering, pain does not disappear, but it no longer defines you. You stop asking why me, and start asking what now. That question alone moves you forward. Train your inner voice like a teacher, not a critic. Teachers correct with care, not cruelty. They expect progress, not perfection. Every day, remind yourself that growth is allowed to be slow. Healing is allowed to be messy. Strength is allowed to be quiet. The way you speak to yourself today becomes the foundation of the life you build tomorrow. Consistency is the quiet power that outlives excitement. Intensity feels impressive, but it is unreliable. It burns bright and disappears just as fast. Consistency is different. It does not shout. It shows up. It teaches your mind patience, your body trust, and your life direction. When you understand this, you stop chasing dramatic changes and start building lasting ones. Most people fail not because they lack talent or intelligence, but because they expect instant results. They work hard for a few days, see no visible reward, and assume it is not working. Consistency asks you to believe before you see. It asks you to keep watering the soil even when nothing has broken through yet. This is not blind faith. This is how growth actually works. Roots form before results appear. Small actions repeated daily are more powerful than rare bursts of effort. 10 minutes of reading every day builds more wisdom than 10 hours once a month. A short daily walk builds more health than an extreme workout done occasionally. Consistency lowers resistance. When a habit is small and repeatable, your brain stops fighting it. Over time, effort becomes identity. You are no longer trying to be disciplined, you are disciplined. Consistency also removes emotional dependence. You stop asking yourself how you feel and start asking what is required. Feelings fluctuate, values don't. When you rely on consistency, you build momentum that carries you through low days. You no longer need motivation to start, because starting has become normal. This is emotional maturity. You stop negotiating with comfort and start honoring commitment. People often underestimate themselves because they overestimate time. They think change should be quick, and when it is not, they quit. Consistency teaches humility. It reminds you that meaningful growth takes time. It slows you down in a world obsessed with speed. And in that slowness you gain depth. You learn, you adjust, you improve. Consistency is also an act of self-trust. Every time you show up, you send a message to your mind that you are dependable. That message builds confidence quietly. You stop needing external praise because you have internal evidence. You know what you are capable of because you have seen yourself persist. Even on days when your effort feels useless, consistency is still working. Progress is not always visible, but it is always cumulative. Miss one day and nothing is ruined. Quit completely and everything stops. Consistency allows mistakes without collapse. It teaches resilience, not rigidity. As Muniba Mazari often reflects through her life, strength is not proven in one powerful moment, but in the decision to continue when life asks you to stop. Consistency is choosing to heal even when healing is slow, choosing to grow even when growth is uncomfortable. You do not need to be extraordinary for one day. You need to be committed for many days. When you embrace consistency, pressure disappears. You stop trying to impress and start trying to improve. And improvement, repeated daily, becomes transformation. Pain enters everyone's life without permission. It does not ask if you are ready, strong, educated, or prepared. It arrives suddenly and changes the landscape of But pain itself is not the enemy. What you decide to do with it becomes the turning point. When pain is ignored, it becomes a prison. When pain is examined, it becomes a teacher. This is not philosophy. This is survival education. Most people try to escape pain as quickly as possible. They distract themselves, numb themselves, or deny what hurts. But pain that is avoided does not disappear, it waits. It grows louder in silence and heavier in delay. When you choose to face pain honestly, you take back control. You stop letting pain define you and start allowing it to refine you. Pain carries information. It shows you where boundaries were crossed, where expectations were unrealistic, where strength was demanded before it was built. If you ask the right questions, pain answers with wisdom. Not why did this happen to me, but what is this teaching me about myself, about my limits, about my values, about my resilience? That question transforms suffering into insight. Turning pain into a teacher requires courage. It means sitting with discomfort instead of running from it. It means acknowledging loss without letting loss erase your identity. Education is not always gentle. Some lessons come wrapped in heartbreak. Some growth comes through tears. But when pain becomes a lesson, it no longer controls you. You carry it instead of it carrying you. Pain also teaches empathy. When you have suffered, you stop being careless with people's feelings. You become more patient, more aware, more human. Your wounds become windows. You start seeing others with depth instead of judgment. This is how pain, when understood, expands your heart instead of hardening it. The danger is when pain becomes a story you repeat instead of a chapter you learn from. When you keep telling yourself what happened instead of what changed within you, pain becomes your identity. But you are not your worst moment. You are what you chose to become after it. Reflection breaks the cycle. Reflection asks, what am I learning instead of what did I lose? Pain should inform you, not imprison you. There is a difference between honoring pain and worshiping it. You honor pain by learning. You imprison yourself by clinging. Healing begins when you allow pain to pass through you, not live inside you. This does not mean forgetting. It means integrating the lesson without carrying the weight forever. As Muniba Mazari has shown through her life, pain can break you or build you, but the choice is made in how you interpret it. Strength is not pretending you were never hurt. Strength is allowing pain to educate you without letting it poison you. When pain becomes a teacher, fear loses authority. You stop being afraid of hardship because you know it cannot destroy what it has already shaped. You move forward with wisdom instead of bitterness. You become deeper, not colder, stronger, not smaller. And slowly, without realizing it, the very pain you once begged to escape becomes the reason you stand taller today.